Welcome, everyone. This is our June Local Foods Development Alliance meeting, and I'm so glad to see all of you here today. Glad that Mitch joined us today. Welcome. Mitch is someone that Felicity and I had a meeting with earlier this year. And so we start by going around and doing introductions. So we'll keep it simple this week. Tell us this month who you are and where you're at and which organization you represent and how that's connected with North Dakota Local Foods. So I can start. I am Stephanie Bloomhagen. I'm the Executive Director of Farms. We're a nonprofit that supports sustainable agriculture and local food systems here in North Dakota. I work out of my home in Bottineau, although Farms serves the entire state and has an office in Tuttle. And I'm also the board chair for NDLFTA. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself? Paul Overby?
I called him.
Sure. Let's see here. I'm there someplace. Paul Overby from Wolford, North Dakota. I chair the Northern Plains RC&D Council, and we've got some local food projects that we're working on this summer through USDA Rural Development grants.
Felicity, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Felicity Merritt. I'm located in Fargo and I work remotely. I'm the coordinator for the North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance, as well as working with Stephanie at Farms.
Robert Barfield. Oh, Robert doesn't have audio today. Robert, go ahead and feel free to introduce yourself in the chat and I will move on to the next person. Molly McLean. Wait, where'd she go? Yeah, there she is.
Hi, Molly McLean. I live in Bismarck. I formerly worked with North Dakota Farmers Union and was formerly on the board of North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance. I've switched careers to be the executive director of Dakota West Arts Council, where we're happy to grant out money to support arts at local markets such as Bismarck and Urban Harvest. And I remain passionate about local foods in North Dakota and glad to be on this call.
Scott Grandyhill.
Hi, everyone. I'm Scott. I teach in the Agriculture and Food Systems program here at United Tribes Technical College. And I was happy to take a break from weeding in the heat to come say hi to all you guys.
Scott, do you also have a local foods business of your own?
Yeah, so my wife and I, we make hot sauce and mustard and we sell at some farmers markets.
Wonderful. I saw you on a Facebook post and I was like, I know that guy. No, that was him. So thank you, Scott. Matt Purdue from Farmers Union.
Yeah, hi everybody. Sorry, I didn't realize I had my video off. Matt Purdue with North Dakota Farmers Union. I'm our government relations director here on staff. I think I mentioned last call, but my family farms up in Ray, North Dakota. But I've been pretty engaged on policy issues related to local and direct marketing systems in the past. So happy to join you all today.
Karen Ahrens.
Hi everyone, this is Karen Ahrens, coordinator for Creating a Hunger-Free North Dakota Coalition. I'm so glad to be here today. I shared some updates that I hope you find useful in just getting people to think about the opportunities presented by Recovery Act funding, including more funds for WIC families to purchase fruits and vegetables over the next 4 months. I will go now. I'll be in and out as I'm also trying to attend and learn from a great session on food insecurity as part of the Public Health Nutrition Conference going on at the same time.
Thanks, Karen. Heidi Ziegenmeyer.
Hi, I'm Heidi Ziegenmeyer. I work for Chandeska Chicana Community College in Fort Totten, North Dakota, so kind of by Devil's Lake. And at the college, I'm the land grant director, so I oversee our extension work relating to like food sovereignty, local food, sustainable agriculture, agricultural education, things like that. And on the call or on the meeting also, I think it says there's two Heidi Ziegenmeyers. I'm guessing the other one is my assistant director, Jessica, who I don't know if she has audio or I don't think she has a camera either because she just started last week. But just wanted to introduce her for her. So that's Jessica, and she's my assistant director here at the college doing the same kind of work.
Hi, Jessica. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Oh, she can talk. Okay.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of functionality. I'm still waiting for the webcam set up, but.
I want to quickly interrupt. If I gave you a link to join this meeting right before the meeting, you'll come signed in as my name. So if your name is Felicity Merritt and you're not me, you can go in and under the participants list, if you find the one in parentheses that says me, that will be your user and you can rename yourself to your actual name. That is just because you need to register for this meeting and it makes a unique link for you. So I probably just shared my link with you so that you could join the meeting, but it will give you my name. Just wanted to put that out there.
I think that's what happened in this case too. I probably just sent it to Jessica that I was like, here you go. And then, oh wait, there's two Heidis. So, okay, sorry.
And we might change the registration system in the future to address that. Ellen, would you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Ellen Knudsen Duffy. I'm out of Bismarck, and I own a small landscape company called River Road Gardens. Mostly we beautify people's yards and add beauty to the landscape. But sometimes we get to put cool things in like community orchards, which I'm currently doing at the Tuttle Rural Innovation Center. And I also sit on the board of North Dakota Local Foods Development Alliance. And this year I'm taking on a little pumpkin project / melon project out on our family land, and we'll be selling pumpkins to Papa's Pumpkin Patch here in Bismarck, and not sure where I'm going to sell the melons yet. So whoever wants to buy cantaloupe and watermelon in the fall, hit me up. Glad to be here. Thanks.
Jan Stankowitz.
Hi, everybody. Jan Stankowitz with NDSU Extension, Community Health and Nutrition Specialist and Tribal Liaison. I'm in Bismarck, and so lots of the work that Extension does around local foods is getting farmers markets across the state authorized to accept SNAP and implement double up programs.
And Mitch Calkins.
Name's Mitch Calkins from Lake Agassiz Regional Council. I spoke with Stephanie and Felicity about a month or so ago, and yeah, so my organization, we are in the Economic Development District for Southeast North Dakota, and just jumping in on this meeting just to kind of see what's going on in the local food scene and see if there's any way that we can help. So glad to be here. Thank you.
And Quinn Renfant.
Hey guys, my name's Quinn Renfant. I'm from just south of Minot, where I got a family farm down there. And I'm also a founding board member of the Red River Harvest Cooperative and a local food advocate. So it's nice to meet you all.
And finally, Lori Sapu.
Oops. Sorry about that. Lori Sapu, I direct the Cooperative Development Center for the Rural Electric and Telecommunications Cooperatives located in Mandan, North Dakota. We help groups of people build businesses together in rural places.
And I believe that's everyone. I see Robert doesn't have a video. So Robert Barfield is a farmer from Burlington, North Dakota. And we are glad he is with us today as well. And I'm just going to move to the next item on the agenda, Felicity. Since you just introduced yourself, Lori, our next, we have a presentation from Lori Sapu about the North Dakota Rural Grocery Pilot. So if you are ready, Lori, I'll turn the floor over to you. And if you need to share any slides, I will make you wait.
I think I can just do it, actually. Is that okay if I try?
Yeah, please do. The co-host option isn't showing up and I don't know what's going on. So hopefully you can just share your screen.
Okay. Maybe I can't.
Felicity, are
Right,
you?
here we go. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so thank you for giving me this time today. So for the past 6 to 7 years, I've been working through the North Dakota Rural Grocery Initiative to bring sustainability to our rural grocery stores. And Karen Ahrens has been there, a partner in crime with me through most of it. We believe that access to affordable, healthy food year-round is necessary for the health of people and the communities where they live. So we've worked with store operators and communities in several different ways these past years to keep stores open by converting to community-owned or grant writing, low-interest financing, education, and networking. But two major issues just keep popping up. We have a problem with supply and distribution. And some of this is due to population. As you know, rural North Dakota has a very low customer base. But some of this is due to the way that food is supplied and distributed nationally. Retail in our nation is constantly moving towards consolidation in large volumes, and that is where the pricing is favored. So this is one interesting piece of data. It's getting old already, but it shows just how really small our grocery stores are. The average grocery store in the nation has an average weekly sales volume of $320,000. And the midpoint of our rural grocery stores, their weekly sales volume is $20,000. So that helps explain why we have such difficulty getting affordable food into our rural places. And also of note over these past 6 years is that we have lost 20% of our grocery stores since we started working on this project. And an emerging trend is that many of them are converting to community-owned or nonprofit. Community-owned means that the city purchases the building and leases it to an operator, sometimes as low as $1 per year, because the operating margins no longer support the operation of that grocery store. So we have organized a shared services cooperative. It's called the Rural Access Distribution Cooperative, or RAD Co-op. And the purpose of this co-op is to engage in activities and services connected to the distribution, marketing, and sale of locally retailed and locally produced products. Through this cooperative, we will test cooperative purchasing and distribution, as well as rural, local, online shopping, and placing climate-controlled grocery lockers in communities without food access. This project is located in Walsh County with 5 members. We have Jim's Super Value in Park River, Hoople Grocery in Hoople, Market on Main, which is a community-owned grocery store in Edinburgh, and 2 communities without grocery stores where we will place those grocery lockers, and that is in Fordville and Adams. Park River is the dedicated redistribution hub, and by redistribution, we mean in and out the same day. It's not a warehouse. Park River has a population of 1,350 people. Edinburgh and Hoople are communities with less than 200 people. They have those small existing grocery stores. And Park River, Edinburgh, and Hoople will place their orders collectively, and that order is going to be delivered to the Park River store by the supplier. This step does not require any investment. Park River has adequate sorting space and space to hold frozen and refrigerated foods during that sorting pre-delivery time period. And we've been able to document an average of 14% price savings on wholesale food products between stores just 15 to 20 miles apart from each other, just simply based on volume. This collective purchasing increases that total volume and improves the price for all communities. It will also help improve variety, as the stores will be able to partner in that purchase of cases at a volume discounted price. And we feel this is going to be especially useful for perishable items such as milk or produce. Fordville and Adams are those two towns without the grocery stores. There are about 100 people in Adams and 270 in Fordville. They're installing climate controlled grocery locker systems. And this is what the lockers look like. So the system includes lockers that hold ambient, frozen, and refrigerated products. And to service it, the cooperative is purchasing an online ordering software system and a climate controlled delivery truck. The people in these communities will be able to place their orders online using a credit card to the Park River store. Park River will deliver the products to the locker and send either a text or email message informing the customer the product has been delivered and assign them a code. The customer goes to the lockers, enters the code, and the assigned doors pop open. Once the product is picked up, the store receives confirmation the transaction is complete. By including the locker system in the redistribution hub, we will have a delivery truck for the hub, and we will be bringing healthy food access to 2 small communities without. We are working with FTS Solutions, a technology company in Texas that is tweaking software to provide an online platform through the cooperative, so we'll be able to bring all 3 stores online for the price of 1. The software also services SNAP purchases and WIC, if we could do WIC online in North Dakota. We are starting with conventional foods, but we anticipate that this hub could also be a way to distribute local foods, where suppliers of local produce, bakery items, meat products, or other items could deliver to the hub and have their products delivered on the same truck as the conventional wholesale products. There could be other business partners as well, say if there's a pharmacy in one of the towns or maybe a hardware store. This model could also be used to bring new small stores up and operating, as they wouldn't need to worry about attracting a supplier for a low volume. They could simply join the cooperative for supply. At this point, we have formally organized the cooperative and we have purchased the truck. We are placing the order for the lockers this week, and we are in the final negotiating stages with a technology company. We're hopeful that that first cooperative purchasing order will happen within the month, and the online shopping and lockers will be installed by October. We've engaged the Department of Social Research at NDSU to complete an impact evaluation, which we'll be sharing on our website, ndarec.com, once it's completed. And the Department of Health is engaged to guide us through the food safety and regulations and licensing for this project. And just to take one little side twist on rural distribution, not really related to this project, this really is a national problem that is demanding attention. And during the pandemic, we learned the supply chain was too concentrated and easily broken. USDA has received $4 billion to fund projects that will strengthen rural food systems. We've connected with the national office about replicating a concept that has been working really, really well in Alaska for over 20 years. And we're in the process of attempting to move a demonstration project forward. This idea involves organizing rural grocers into a purchasing and expediting cooperative and using the United States Postal Service for transportation. And I know there's a lot of opinions about the reliability of the post office, but it appears and is documented that they are really, really good at moving food. There's no reason why this hub also couldn't be used as a collection point for local foods. And as we move that project forward, we would really welcome somebody from the local foods industry to sit at the table with us. And thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Lori. This is such an exciting project, so I really want to thank you for coming and sharing with us about it. And also, if anyone has questions for Lori, feel free to ask them now.
Hi, Lori, it's Jan.
Hi, Jan.
Yeah, this is super exciting. And I'm sure that you get this question a lot, and maybe I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but like, what's next? Are there other communities that are interested? What might it take for other communities to be able to replicate something like this? I'm just really curious.
Yeah, good question. So that is, we are trying to build it in a fashion that can be replicated. The one thing we probably can't replicate is all the grant dollars that have come into this. However, I think it'll be more affordable for the next person because we'll be, building that path. We do intend to put the financial feasibility out there so people can see what the costs were, what the savings were. That impact evaluation will show benefits other than financial. It will show also, were we able to increase access to healthy foods, and is the variety better in the stores? So there's other things that you can't quite measure that we're gonna try to quantify. And we do have 2 other sites that are interested in replicating it and are just kind of watching for now, but definitely interested in replicating if it works.
Awesome. And then I guess I do have another question, sorry. Would there ever be any potential for some of these smaller schools to take advantage of the distribution chain on this? Because I know that small rural schools also struggle with access to variety and affordable foods.
Right. So we have been thinking about that, and also restaurants also have trouble getting their supply. And so we, just trying to figure out the best route for it. Like, this group that I'm working with is extremely cooperative and willing to do whatever. And I can see the groceries or the schools or restaurants ordering through the grocery store so that volume stays high and coming through the grocery store and keeping it at cost or just slightly above cost to cover their cost of getting it to the restaurant or school.
Do you have any advice for maybe another community who is looking to do something similar? What were the first few roadblocks that you guys hit? Like, what were the barriers on your way to this point?
Very, very first was that the grocery stores in other communities are not competitors, and getting past that point of competition into a place where you feel like you're cooperating for the good of where you live versus competing. That was our first hurdle. Taking away the fear of losing a supplier if you change something or let them know that you're working on something different. We're hoping that we're going to take away that fear of it's going to cost me more instead of less, hoping to prove that. I think it's just getting the stakeholders at the table early, helping them have those conversations so that they understand how they can work together to be stronger.
I'm curious about how you funded this project. I heard you say lots of grants.
Yes.
What kinds of grants and who wrote them and held them?
So I wrote them, and our association has held them and administered them.
Okay.
We initially got some funding through an anonymous entity that provided some of that initial research money. We used that for Upper Great Plains Transportation Institute just to map the distribution routes to prove that there was a problem. Then we got some funding through CoBank that helped us collect some of that data to show, like the one slide you've seen about how the volumes are so small in our grocery stores, and what their net operating margins are on average, things like that. We found that, Felicity, this is one other thing I should have said, like, data is really, really powerful. Like, you don't understand what's happening to you until you see the numbers. And so that was really instrumental in getting people to do something different. The other funding source has come through the Bush Foundation. And then one more grant through the anonymous entity to help us buy those lockers. So, and Blue Cross Blue Shield. See, we've been patching money together, and it's interesting. People are interested in it. It hasn't been a hard ask. Access to food is high up on people's radars, foundations anyhow.
Okay, I think we're going to move along, but if anyone has questions, you can go ahead and maybe put them in the chat as we go. The next thing we have on the agenda is an update about the farms webinar that will be tomorrow. Stephanie, I can go ahead and maybe share my screen to show the event on Facebook if you want to talk about it for a little bit.
Absolutely. So Farms has been partnering with Dakota College at Botno for the past 3 years under a USDA Ag Marketing Service Farmers Market Promotion Program grant with an end goal to increase sales and customers at farmers markets across the state. And this project has included a farmers market customer survey in 2019, farmers market interns for the past 3 summers, including this summer, and marketing education for farmers market managers and vendors. So tomorrow we are holding a webinar from noon to 1:15 p.m. It's called Success Strategies for North Dakota Farmers Market Vendors. We will bring you, we'll talk about the results of that survey and what that tells us about what customers want in North Dakota. And then we've got 2 market managers who are going to talk about the market manager's perspective on how vendors can be successful. And then we've got 4 farmers market vendors from across the state who have been selling at farmers markets for years, and they've got some great tips and strategies to succeed. New vendors, may have questions about how to set up their booth and what it take, what does preparation look like? When should I be harvesting? How do I keep my produce cool through market day and prior to market day? So we've got tips and strategies for all these things, all the questions that a new vendor might have and some questions that a seasoned vendor might have, as well as we're putting together a resource document for attendees to take with them. With tips and other webinars and other resources. So this is free. This is will be live streamed on Facebook as well as through Zoom, and you can register at bit.ly Farmers Market Success. And I hope to see you all there.
Hey. Let me pull up the agenda quickly.
Website update.
Okay. Yeah, I guess Stephanie, you take this.
Right. Okay. So we have for the late last summer, we were awarded a Consensus Council grant. And one of our activities was to build a website so that NDL-FDA members could connect more efficiently. We've been sharing member updates, but that takes, our current system takes some work on Felicity's part and it's a little bit clunky still. So our goal is to create a space where you all can connect, where all of us can connect with each other and build those relationships, which are the groundwork for a vital functioning local food system. This is where we make connections to start projects, to find partners, to find grants. This is the foundation of our local food system. So we have a draft of our new website. This was created by Robert Toller from RT Consulting. And it currently what we have here is the member update page. You all will eventually get a login and password, or an invitation to create a login and password. That is, if you have already registered as an NDLFD member, you'll get that login password, or you can register to get an invitation. Once you have a login, you're listed on the member section here. These will eventually be hyperlinked to a profile for each person, so you can see how to contact the other people in the coalition. Also, if somebody is interested in the coalition, one of the main things they'd want to know is who else is part of this organization. So now we can see that on the front page. So here's an example of a post. Our member updates will now be very visual. You can click on it to see the actual update. So this is about the success strategies for North Dakota farmers market vendors. You can add images, you can format your text a little bit, and you can comment on other people's posts. Or in this case, your own post. So comment, this works if you're a Facebook user. This is, a lot of these are fairly similar features that might be familiar. There's profiles. So I'm going to create a quick post, and you can make your posts as simple or as complex as you like. In this case, I'm just going to put in a quick title, NDLFDA applying for RFSP grant. Because Farms is registered already, we have a default image, but you could also choose a custom image for the post and upload it there. That created that, and then I'm not gonna edit right now. And there is your update, and click submit. And there it is. And then people can comment on it if they want. If you don't like your post, you want to make a change, like if I want to fix those typos, I can click edit and it goes back to the post and you can edit. So that is the super quick version. Felicity is going to show you, some of you might represent more than one organization. In Felicity's case, she represents both Farms and NDLFDA. So she's going to show you her version. Oh, you're muted still.
Okay, so my login looks essentially the same as Stephanie's, which would be what your guys' logins would eventually look like as well. And so if I want to go ahead and create a post to share an update, I now have this option at the top, so I can choose to post as Farms or as the North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance. So I can choose that update, and that'll show what it will show up under. And then again, I have the same options. I can put in a default image, or I could upload a custom image for that post. And so in this text box here, let's say I have a member update, and I'm just going to take this one as an example that Karen put in earlier. So I can copy this whole thing if I wanted and put it into here. And it will keep a lot of the formatting, but it's good to kind of go through and make sure in the actual text box here that we can edit it, and like we have some weird spacing here, so maybe I want to change that around. So you can just copy and paste, but you want to make sure to do a little bit of editing in the actual text box here. And then another thing that you can do if you're interested is insert text or insert an image into the actual text. I'll just see what I have here. I'm going to upload this photo here, and this is a large photo that we got from a professional photographer, so I might want to scale it down to fit into the post a little bit. And as you can see, this has the aspect ratio locked, so then I just click save and it uploads that right into the document. The formatting in this is really similar to a Word document or a Google Doc. It might take a little bit of time to get used to, but like Stephanie said, if you wanted to go in and change this, you can change the text size, you can format it really any way you want. But if you don't have the time for that and you just want to quickly put in an update, you can do that as well. So there's also this preview button. So this will give me what my final post might look like, and then I can go through and look at that. And then I can submit my post. It verifies that I am posting this under the North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance, and so I would say yes, and then that's up here as well. I also quickly want to show commenting, so I can click on Stephanie's most recent post and I can click add a comment, and then your comments show up as your name specifically, not the organization you represent. So this will just be me saying yay, and then can submit that comment. And it shows up here. And that's everything I had for this. Does anyone have any questions? Or Stephanie, do you have anything to add about this?
You might be wondering when you'll be able to add posts and comments, and that'll be the next phase, which will be within the next 2 weeks. As I said, if you are already a registered member, you'll get an invitation to create your login and password.
And we will, all these example posts, will wipe those before the final version goes live. So you can enter your own information as you go. Okay. I think the next thing we had was an update on the grant. So after the meeting last month, I sent out a poll to all you guys, just asking what the needs were and what the barriers that your organization specifically had faced and what projects NDLFDA could pursue moving forward. So I'm gonna I have a couple slides summarizing that, so I will share those, and then we can go into a little more detail about where we are with grant planning and where to go from here.
And for those who are attending for the first time, we are working on an application to the USDA Agricultural Marketing Services Regional Food Systems Partnership Grant. And we'll tell you more about that in a second, but that's the grant we're referring to.
So the first question I asked you guys was what the biggest barriers your organization faced. And we got, this is just a summary of some of the most common answers, but a lot of people talked about accessibility, so consistent access to the food system, awareness of the food system, knowing where you can get local foods, where you can sell local foods. A lot of people also talked about the tension between producers and other organizations and the lack of interest in collaborating with each other. And I know Lori touched on this at the beginning as well, convincing people that we're not competing with each other, but helping each other. Not enough outlets to sell outside of farmers markets, so that's expanding farm to school, farm to grocery, wholesaling to local restaurants, and just expanding that market. Limited small town grocery stores. I think we've touched on a lot of this already, access to local foods, and then again, access and distribution. And especially in that off season, since we do have such a short growing season in this state. And so then when I asked how NDLFDA can help, a lot of hitting on the same things: more partnerships between organizations, more collaborations, and access to more resources, creating a more robust local food system that more markets for producers, building a statewide system for food hubs, and then providing capacity building for small local food organizations. And a couple people specifically mentioned access to grants and funding to kind of get their organizations off the ground. So then a similar question: what projects would you like to see us focus on? And that's in this grant, but then also more broadly in the future, what would you like to see our alliance become? And we got a lot about increasing communication and connectivity throughout the state, giving a unified voice to the local community, and then increasing communication between the process of producers to processors to distributors, as well as organization between those local food organizations, food banks, hunger organizations, and the producers as well. Building a platform for sharing information and finding collaborators. And that's what we're hoping our website can kind of grow into and become, an easy way to share updates and a place to find resources that are going to be relevant to you and helpful to your organization. And then just expanding the whole network, building a presence throughout the state. We had some comments specifically on trying to move farther into Western North Dakota to kind of reach everyone in the state and evolving our alliance into a larger entity that could affect real change. And a couple people mentioned with that as well, doing some policy work to try and lower the barriers for people who might be interested in beginning and dipping their toes into local food community. So that's obviously just a very short summary, and we can't do all of those things, but it's a good place to start. And I just wanted to get everyone on the same page about, some of the priorities from you guys and the other members in our organization. So I will maybe turn it over to Stephanie to talk about where we are with this grant and what we need from you guys to make it happen.
Yeah, thank you, Felicity. That was a wonderful summary of everyone's input, and well presented. And as you said, there's a lot there, and we can't do it all now, but with time and the right resources, we could do it all eventually. So what we're focusing on now is just this one grant. So this is a planning grant. So we're going to apply for these funds to help us create our plan to build the larger organization and structure. So we are meeting weekly on Fridays at noon. We've had, I think, 2 grant working sessions so far. And we've decided that we need a permanent paid staff person to be our vision keeper, our organizer, our fundraiser. We haven't had a permanent staff person to this point. We had Felicity was our first, non-volunteer staff person. We've had some contract work, some contractors in the past, but seeing what we were able to accomplish with Felicity really cemented the idea that we need a permanent staff person. So that is going to be the core of our grant application, is hiring that person. We're not sure what to call the position yet, but it would be something like an executive director. We also would like to get another AmeriCorps position that would work alongside the director, and but that is separate from this grant because AmeriCorps is a federal program and you can't match federal with federal. And then we think we would like to have 6 regional planning meetings. This is a 24-month grant. So that would be 3 meetings per year throughout the 24 months. And that would be well, for one, it's been a long time since we've seen each other in person, and building a strong, resilient system is based on, the foundation for that system is the relationships that we create between people and organizations. And so I think it's important that we can gather for regional planning meetings. We might need to hire some project management or facilitation support for those meetings. And we have started some conversations with a project management firm in Fargo, although we might do an RFP too. But through that work, that would be the bulk of this grant. This is not the last grant we will write by any means. This is just what we're focusing on right now for this application. That would get us, a foundation to build on, some staff and some space and time to gather and decide, where do we go from here? What sorts of assessments do we need to do? What sorts of projects are most pressing, and how do we accomplish those? So what do we need from you? This is a partnership grant. So partners, the more partners that we can, the more partnerships that we can show, the stronger our application. We have our core partnerships established, I believe, but we are well open to more partnerships. And if you are interested in partnering, we have a template for a letter of commitment. It asks, we need those partnership letters due to the grant requirements. We need to state clearly who from your organization would be participating in this project and how they would be participating. Participation could mean simply committing to attend monthly meetings and attend at least one of those regional planning summits. Another great way that people can contribute to this project is we'll need meeting spaces for those planning summits. And maybe some of you have, for example, Farmers Union has a beautiful meeting space in Jamestown. If Matt, if Farmers Union would be willing to donate the use of that meeting space for a summit, that could be considered in-kind match for this grant, and we'd be extraordinarily appreciative. Not to put you on the spot, and if it's not possible, we understand that too. So those are two ways that we are, two forms of support that we're seeking for this grant. Just participation or contributions of match in the form of meeting space. Maybe questions?
I want to add one thing, and that is just, I know a lot of people on this call are representing another organization, so you maybe don't know right away what you can commit to, but if you just take a minute to think about what a partnership with your organization directly might look like, and then talk to other members of your organization about what level of commitment they're comfortable with. The partnership doesn't necessarily have to look the same between all the organizations. So like Stephanie said, if all you can commit to is one staff member attending the monthly meeting, we still would love to partner with you. And if you have meeting space or maybe something else that we haven't even touched on that you feel like you could provide or that would be helpful, we would love to talk to you about it.
Mm-hmm. This grant is due July 9th, I believe. And we are getting a solid draft in place by the 21st of June so that we can have it reviewed by some support people from the Wallace Foundation who have offered to do grant review for applicants. So that's not to say we can't make some revisions after that time, but we're trying to get our solid draft prepared by June 21st.
And we will be sending out a template for a draft letter of commitment. So if you are interested, you don't have to write it up yourself. We can send you that with all the essential information that you need to put in. And then you can kind of make it your own, but don't think you have to be drafting something completely from scratch. We can talk about it and make something together.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remind us when we need to have a firm yes or no in terms of our partnership?
Well, by the 21st would be nice. Okay. I mean, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
If possible.
And if anyone has questions, feel free to send me an email. Okay. We have 4 minutes left now, so I'm gonna share my screen for the member updates. I just put these over right before the meeting, so I haven't had time to read through them all. But I do quickly want to just draw attention to this document and that we have it here for you guys to read through and find updates. And this will soon become a part of the integrated part of the website. But for now, this is still what we're using for member updates. So Karen submitted an update on behalf of Creating a Hunger-Free North Dakota, and she has all of that out here, as well as links to resources as well. We have NDSU Extension talking about their Fair Food Network grant and authorizing SNAP use at farmers markets, the Friendship Gardens and Community Orchard in Grand Forks, as well as an update from Vision West in Western North Dakota. And Heidi has an update about the community gardens and Spirit Lake Mobile Farmers Market. So I don't have time to read through all of these, but if anyone on the call does quickly want to talk about their own update, go ahead. Okay. Anything else you wanted to add, Stephanie?
Just that I'm really appreciative of everyone who showed up today. Really excited by Lori's presentation, and I don't know if she's still here, but I think we as a Local Foods Coalition can learn a lot from the RAD Rural Grocers pilot project and their process of doing the research and the needs assessments and then creating a plan and putting into action. So I hope to talk to Lori about that more.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you guys. And I'll be sending out the minutes in this for probably this week or early next week. And then I will see you all again virtually next month for our next meeting. So thank you so much.